What's going on, y'all? It's another day on the Day One podcast. I'm your co-host, Anthony. I got my co-host, Kyle. Say what's up. What's happening, y'all? Let's get this shit going, baby.
What's going on, y'all? Live from Cancun. Hey, y'all see it? Look at that. Look at that view.
That's some bullshit.
That's a Super Bowl champs view right there.
It's not.
I'm in the Super Bowl suite, enjoying my last weeks of being a champion. What's going on, y'all? It's another day on the Day One podcast. I'm your co-host, Anthony. I got my co-host, Kyle. Say what's up.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, it's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. I know this isn't our usual time that we get up on here, but, you know, between Kyle's work schedule and my Cancun schedule, we figured, hey, we drop a little early for y'all in the afternoon. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. The NFL season is here. Preseason, the heat of preseason. September 4th is coming very quick. So you don't want to miss a single video. So hit that notification bell. We'll have this clipped. We'll have shorts, you name it, anything you want. Let us know in the comments what you want to see. But yeah, we got a nice show for you guys today. We're going to touch on some news around the NFL, and then most importantly, get into our award predictions for the season. It's our second favorite show of the year. The first favorite is the next one.
Yep. Yeah, I'm super excited, dude. I love doing the award predictions because putting you on blast for some of your picks every year is one of my favorite things. I mean, you must have picked 4 Eagles last year to win awards or some shit like that. Absolutely legendary stuff. But I'm hyped. But first, let's get into the big news that you want to talk about. Landon Dickerson, or known as the Big Dick, got his.
I don't think anybody calls him the Big Dick.
Okay, I think a few people,
but,
a few people online maybe.
And
but.
Pause. But, yeah,
Tell me about it.
Landon Dickerson at the open practice this past weekend came down with a meniscus injury. Had surgery today to repair a minor, I guess it's a minor injury.
Yep.
So he'll be good for the season, like good to go. So he'll play. The question is really, when is he going to play? The goal apparently is that he is considered week to week and ultimately is gunning to play for week 1. I think we're good week 1. We don't sit your ass down, Landon. We don't.
Yeah, you don't.
The Cowboys don't have a defense. We're good. We got Tyler Steen's at right guard. We got like Brett Toth and Matt Pryor. We're good. But no, I think the most realistic thing is he'll probably miss the first 4 weeks. He'll probably be on like the PUP list.
Yeah.
And he'll come back week 5, week 6, and be good to go for the rest of the year. I think, because I wasn't there, I think it was Jihad Campbell that came on a bull rush.
Yeah.
And he just stepped wrong, got hurt, and that's that. But prayers out to Landon. Thankfully, it's nothing like it's a complete tear out for the season, because that was obviously everybody's main concern. So happy that he has that, and we'll do without him for now.
Yeah, you guys are going to be fine. You don't really need to worry too much. I mean, you guys could probably play 7-on-11, no offensive line against the Cowboys and get some offense going. So I don't think you should really worry. It's just a question of if it's a lingering situation or anything like that. But that's why I think they should really give him a few weeks off, even the pup list, and just let him get his legs back underneath him, and he'll be good to go.
Yeah, I agree with that because you can play through the meniscus injury. It's nothing that's like going to keep you out, but if you like completely tear it, like there's that risk. And
Right.
Landon is a tough guy to where, like, you know, if he does start on the pup list, typically for those injuries, you might be out till about week 6 from where
Yeah.
he got the surgery now. He, with how tough he is, you never know. He could probably come back after week 4. But the Eagles always like to err on the side of caution, which is something that I like and is a reason why we've had like all of our starters from week 1 playing
Right.
deep into the postseason these last few years. So whatever we decide to do, I fully trust that, you know, it's the right decision, and you know, we just need him. We need him not only for September, but we need him for December, January, hopefully February again. Like that's where we really need those star players.
Yeah. Who would be backing him up the first few weeks?
So I know today at the joint practice they had Brett Toth getting some first team reps. Matt Pryor he's a swing lineman, so he's gotten snaps at right guard. I think he probably gets snaps at left guard. Some people were throwing out the idea of moving Tyler Steen to left guard and then running. I think it was Matt Pryor at right guard, but you know you don't want to move too many pieces around. Tyler Steen's been at right guard all off season in camp.
Right.
So you don't want to really ruin that for him. I think he's going to step up well, and even, you know, the same analogy with Tyler Steen. Everybody having the questions of, well, is he the guy? Is he going to be able to do this? Is this his 3rd year? Finally getting some snaps. You know, what is it? What's that? What's the saying? Oh, well, all boats raise, something like that.
I have no idea.
Higher tides raise smaller boats, something like that.
Yeah.
The guys around whoever steps in for Landon will bring up that player. I feel like, you know, you got the I feel like best tackle combo in the NFL in Mailata and Lane Johnson, and Cam Jurgens is a Pro Bowl center. And Tyler Steen, he's coming up with the boys, so whoever steps in I feel like will be good, but it's probably going to be those two if I had to guess, either Brett Toth or Matt Pryor. I would like to see some of the young guys like Trevor Keegan get some run. I know Miles Hinton has been struggling at camp. He's a rookie, but yeah, and whatever Stoutland University decides to come up with, I think we'll be in a good spot.
I think so too, dude. I don't think there's much to worry about there. Predictions?
Let's do it.
All right. So we'll jump around a little bit because we'll save things like MVP and all those types of things for later, and then we also came up with a few awards ourselves that we're going to give out, so we'll do those at the end as well. So all right, 2025 NFL season award predictions starting now. Let's go with Coach of the Year first. Who do you have?
So this is kind of a homer pick, I'm not going to lie. I have Nick Sirianni, bit of a safe pick.
Yeah.
Reason being, I mean, we're defending Super Bowl champs. I think we're going to be one of the top seeds in the NFL, probably the number 1 seed again in the NFC. And I think, you know, with the expectations that we have this year, I think it's an opportunity for some of our guys to get some recognition. I mean, Saquon last year undoubtedly had to get Offensive Player of the Year. He had a historic season. But I think, you know, the job Nick Sirianni has done, I know I've been documented on here as throwing him under the bus, throwing dirt on his name. But you can't deny his track record as an NFL head coach. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's won 1. His winning percentage over the first 4 seasons of his career is the most in NFL history, the highest win percentage.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to continue. You still retained much of your, you know, defensive coaching. You know, the offense is the same. minus Mekhi Becton and Kellen Moore.
Right.
So I still think you have the runway to be a 12 or 13 win team, and I think that's good enough for the top spot in the NFC. It's a tough schedule, but I think he has such a great mindset of we're in the present, we're not looking forward, and just his messaging to the guys. I feel like he is probably one of the best NFL coaches right now.
Yeah.
And it's about damn time he gets some respect, bro.
Yeah, no. So listen, I actually don't hate that pick at all. I think that's really good. I think getting the monkey off of his back of winning the Super Bowl opens more discussion to, is Nick Sirianni a top coach? Because before it was like bro's just, bro's chained to the back of the wagon getting dragged through the mud while everyone's, you know what I mean? Now it's kind of like, all right, what kind of difference is he making, that sort of thing. So I actually don't hate that pick.
Okay. I thought you were gonna hate it, bro.
No, I don't think that's a bad pick at all. That's actually one of the few guys on that team that I would give an award to, because it's such a collective unit that it's very difficult to pick, and it's really hard to pick and choose other than Saquon rushing for 2,000 yards. Coach of the year for me, I went with Sean Payton. I think Denver last year went 10-7, was third in the division, and now they have year 2 Bo Nix, another year of Marvin Mims getting better. They locked up Cortland Sutton. I like RJ Harvey. I like their running back room. Their defense is probably going to be the top unit in the NFL this year. There is real competition in that division now. So I'll tell you what, even if they go 12-5, I still don't think they're winning the division. I'll tell you why later. But I like Sean Payton to win 12, even 13 games with this squad. And they don't really have like that one guy that's like top end talent on their roster. So it's kind of like, this is Sean Payton's team. It's not Pat's team. It's not Burrow's team. It's Sean Payton's team. And I think if they go 12, 13 wins, I think Sean Payton's clearly going to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I definitely like that. Even if he doesn't win 12 or 13 games.
Yeah.
Right. If they make a bang throughout the season, and they have talent to do so, and they have second year Bo Nix, I think that it could totally happen. I don't hate that pick either.
Yeah, thank you. That's off to a very polite start.
Yeah.
All right.
Enough of the pleasantries.
Enough of the pleasantries. All right, let's go with comeback player of the year. Who do you have?
I have Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. Sounds good for my fantasy team.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I think there's a slew of different guys that could get this award. But I think from the level that Christian McCaffrey was at before the injury, with that San Francisco offense, I think he's going to come back in full health. He's going to be that engine again. And I think he'll have a bounce back year. I'm not saying that the Niners will be, a top playoff team. Yeah, they'll be great. But, I think individually he's going to have a good year. He's going to get a lot of run.
Yeah.
Once again. And I think that warrants, in at least the media's eyes, like, oh, Christian McCaffrey's back to being Christian McCaffrey after having both Achilles be strained after last year. So I don't think there's really a wrong answer at comeback player of the year. But I go with Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. I like that pick because this is an award that, unlike the rest of them, probably doesn't matter win totals at all unless you're a quarterback. So I like that pick. I went with something similar. I went with Aiden Hutchinson. He might win DPOI. He from what everyone's saying, he's been having the camp of his life. Dan Campbell had to come up with something called Hutch plays, where it was if Hutch gets a sack, they don't count it. They just keep moving on in the play because he kept doing it way too often in camp.
Oh shit!
And that's against a great offensive line. So, plus this, I don't think that, as ugly as that injury was, this wasn't a ligament damaging lifelong type of injury. A bone snapped and it healed completely.
Yeah.
He didn't have I don't think he got any screws, plates, nothing. It pretty much healed naturally, which is good. So yeah, he's going to come back. He's going to be a monster. That Detroit team's going to be as good, I think, this year as they were last year, like all around in terms of win total. And I think he's going to be a big reason for it. And there's really not another player on that defense that's going to stand out. So if they have a top half unit and he's got 17, 18 sacks, I mean, he's really only going to need 10 sacks to get this award. But
yeah,
if you're looking at DPOI, there's a good chance he's got it. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't hate that pick either. For defensive player of the year, it's kind of projecting a little bit how he's going to come off of the injury.
right.
But yeah, I mean that's another comeback player of the year. I don't hate that.
Mm-hmm.
He has been having a good camp.
Yeah, he has. All right, let's do let's do the rookies. So let's do offensive rookie of the year.
Offensive rookie of the year, I have Ashton Genty. He, outside of Travis Hunter, I mean, it's probably 1A, 1B, but I think, him and Brock Bowers are going to be the offense down there in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to be a huge reason why, if they have any sort of we're a fun team cachet, I think he's going to get a lot of usage, a lot of empty stats, and it's going to warrant him being offensive rookie of the year. If Travis Hunter has like a Justin Jefferson-esque rookie season, then I could see it being him. But the safe pick is Ashton Genty.
I took the same guy. I took Ashton Genty as well. Reason being, he's just going to get all the run. That's kind of just how it's going to be. The only thing, so Travis Hunter is an interesting one. Like him, I don't really even include as much because it's like we have no idea what we're going to get. I mean, he's a slim, undersized wide receiver, so you never know what you're going to get there. And then the corner, it's like, has he really faced receivers like he's going to face in the NFL, especially like consistently? Like we don't know. He's still great. We just don't know if he's going to get enough on both sides. I think there's another guy that we're kind of leaving out, and it might have a lot to do with win total. I think Omarion Hampton's a decent pick too, running back for the Chargers. Reason being, like Ashton Genty might have a little bit better of a season, but I think Hampton could be on a team that wins 10 games that hasn't had a running game in the last couple of years. Basically a completely fixed offense from what we saw with the Brandon Staley years, and he could be a good catalyst for that. But I think inevitably Ashton Genty is going to get 300 snaps. And if he gets 300 carries at 4 yards a carry, he's getting 1,200. So like that's kind of how I look at it. Plus, he's going to get everything goal line. It's not Brock Bowers. So
yeah, it's setting up for him to get it. Yeah. I think that's probably the safest pick. Yeah, probably out of like this entire list that we have.
You want to? Interesting thing though, I also think he's on bust watch.
Yeah. I mean, Chip Kelly made him change his stance. We know how Chip Kelly moves. So that's a good point. Yeah.
Only reason I think so is because he played very, very poor competition all throughout college.
Yeah, that too.
That's really, really bad competition that he was playing against. I mean, if you're going to run for 250 yards a game, you're probably pretty good. But we'll see. I don't know if he's going to reach the caliber of what Saquon, C-Mac, even Jonathan Taylor level of running back. We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I'll throw you on this. People were saying that about Quinyon Mitchell last year. He played at Toledo. Mm-hmm. Small school, didn't play a lot of competition. That's why all the experts were like, yeah, Terrion Arnold's the pick at cornerback. And he came out and balled out. So, you never know. Yeah. Sometimes those things don't matter, but sometimes they do. We'll see if it matters for Ashton Genty.
We shall see. Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, this is probably another safe pick, but Abdul Carter. He has been an absolute monster at camp, and I think the Giants are going to be a really fun team this year.
Yep.
And he's going to be a big part as to why they're a fun team. That defensive line is really fun. You have him, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau. I think they signed somebody in free agency. I'm not really sure,
Probably.
but he is, top 3 pick. Had a really good career at Penn State. Um, he's just had a hell of a camp, and I think he's just gonna have a hell of a year. I don't see like defenders. It's tough because if you consider Travis Hunter a DB, he can be in that conversation. But the only other guy, in my eyes at least, that I would consider for that award would be Jihad Campbell. But I don't think he's going to get the snaps warranted to win that award. So I think it's really Abdul Carter's award to lose.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I took Abdul Carter too. The only thing that I could see hurting him is if he gets overshowered by Sexy Dexy and Brian Burns. Like if he comes out of there being like, "Hey, I'm clearly the 3rd best like lineman on my own front," that's kind of tough. Whereas a corner or a Shamar Stewart without Trey Hendrickson, guys like that are going to stand out and have more impact totally on a team. But you're 100% right. Like there's really not anyone in his weight class that can pretty much touch him on the defensive side of the ball. There's no one that's going to get the snaps other than like a Shamar Stewart, maybe a Mason Graham. But yeah, you're right. It's Abdul Carter's award to lose, and the only thing I see really stopping him is if some random guy in the 2nd, 3rd round that we're not thinking about gets the starting job immediately and shows out.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, I'm with you. Abdul Carter. The rookie of the years were pretty easy to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Offensive player of the year.
So I actually went with a repeat winner in Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
I think that, for as much of an impact he had last year and as historic of a year that he had last year, I think for us to get off to a hot start, I think we're going to need to utilize him a lot once again. And through OTAs and training camp, we've been pretty light relatively. Because he's had some days at camp where he's gotten a lot of usage, but he's gotten relatively light usage over the off season. And I think that is by design, that he's going to be another year of him being like the focal point of our offense.
Right.
And we saw it last year where you pair him with the top line in the NFL with all Pro Bowl players everywhere. He's going to have a historic year. He might not have the rushing total, but I think the all-purpose could be like 1,500 to 2,000 range, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And, maybe he scores a couple more touchdowns. I think he'll still be in the conversation. If it wasn't him, it'd probably be one of the LSU guys and Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. But
yeah,
I mean, I can't go against it. I mean, he had such a great year last year.
Yep.
Played all 17 games, and he said it himself. He's like, I think I'm entering my prime. And I think that's correct. He just came off the Super Bowl. He's just as hungry as ever to prove it again, and I think he's going to be a big part as to the Eagles' success, and maybe he's a repeat winner. So I'm going my dog Saquon.
Yeah. So I don't hate it either. He's in my top 3. My only argument, I have 2 arguments against Saquon. There hasn't been a repeat offensive player of the year since 2000 and 2001 when Marshall Faulk won. That's a big thing because there's been guys over the past few years that have had similar seasons to like what they've done in years that they didn't win it. Like Derrick Henry's a big one. He won in 2020, and we know he's had big years like that. My other argument is too, I'm taking Jamar Chase. So
okay,
I think it's more likely Jamar Chase replicates a Triple Crown than it is that Saquon does what he does. Like I think there's more chance for fall off for Saquon than there is for Jamar Chase. Especially in terms, if you look around the NFL with wide receivers, like there's a lot of great ones, but like there's a question with like almost every single team's number one. Like JJ McCarthy's a big one for Jetta. Let me just go to offensive player of the year for once. So that's a big problem. Nico Collins' health. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for the wide receivers, I think the only two in my eyes that don't really have a question mark, Jamar Chase and AJ Brown. I think those two don't really have a question mark.
Well, my question with AJ Brown is you have to deal with Saquon and Devontae.
Well, yeah, all the other players, but
because he won't be able to get to the level of stats. Though he's talented enough, it's the rest of the team.
Yeah.
The guy you left out is CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah,
CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, those two to me are the two. Not because of AJ Brown's talent or anything like that. It's just like you've got another guaranteed 1,100-yard receiver on that team that's going to take some balls away. That's the only thing. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins has that too, but we've seen year in and year out, Joe Burrow throws for that, and Joe Burrow throws for 4,800 yards. Jalen Hurts throws for 37. Like, there's only so much to go around, and that's not a Jalen Hurts knock. That's just spread the wealth and
just how it crumbles.
The Eagles perform better when he throws the ball under 30 times, so he's not going to get But that's another. That's why I think Jamar Chase has a chance to do it. Will he win a triple crown? I don't know, but like, I think that's a really big. I think it's a big ask for Saquon to get, because he's got to get close to the year past. That's the only thing, and getting that close is like it's going to be difficult. Not that he's not going to be able to do it. That's my only issue. I think Jamar Chase, he's going to be force fed all year. So
I don't hate it, honestly. Like, if I wasn't going to pick Saquon, I would pick Jamar Chase too.
Yeah.
But I think, like, for Saquon, I think he's shown last year that, like, he has that home run ability where if we block two guys, he could take a 70-yarder to the house, and that adds up. Like, he did that a lot last year. So I'm not saying that he's going to run for 2,000 again, but, with Kevin Patullo, he might get the running backs involved in the passing game a little bit more. But then again, we also have A.J. Dillon, who could also take away from the snaps for Saquon, who has been having a good camp. So, yeah, there's definitely some question marks there, but, that's my dog right there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't necessarily think that that's a bad pick. No, you're not reaching. Not at all. Let me actually do something to this real quick. Well, actually, you come up with your. Let's do. I forgot about this guy completely because I didn't write it on here. But Protector of the Year.
Protector of the Year.
Yeah. Tell me who's your guy.
New one. That's the new one. I'm going Lane Johnson. For obvious reasons, he is a future Hall of Famer, 2-time Super Bowl champ. I feel like he's been the best right tackle in football over the last 5-10 years.
Yep.
And, it's about time he gets an award because, there's no question that he's a Hall of Famer. And, there's a point in time where he barely gave up a sack.
Yeah.
So, like, that's impressive for a guy that's 35, playing pretty much at the peak of his powers. Not to knock Penny so well, because in my opinion, I think it's between the two of them.
Right.
But I think, Lane Johnson has just been such a great player that, again, he might be an Eagle, but he has just been such a great, consistent player at that offensive line position that, you can't snub him.
No, that's completely fair. Lane Johnson's an easy pick. I'm gonna go a different route. So that's an obvious pick. Penei Sewell's an obvious pick. I'm gonna go with Tristan Wirfs. Reason being, Bucky Irving came on strong last year as a running back. He performed extremely well. He's young. He might get better. That's a good thing. That would help Tristan Wirfs. If Baker Mayfield has another similar season like he did last year, which is almost MVP caliber year, he's really the only notable offensive lineman on that roster as well. Those are my two big reasons. I really like the idea of Tristan Wirfs winning it, but you're probably right. It's between Lane Johnson and Penei Sewell. The only thing that I can see not going that way is, again, there's potential for Saquon regression, which, like, the running game's worse. That kind of conversation comes up. And then for Penei Sewell, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs would have to have 1,500 yards on the ground, like, probably for him to really be considered.
It could be one. It could be the same argument because they lost some
Right.
guys on the offensive line as well. So it's like,
Right.
yeah, well, they're not that good. They're not as good as they were last year.
Right. Yeah. I like Tristan Wirfs because it's a different name. That's
Yeah.
You know.
I like that.
Yeah.
Branching out.
Yeah, dude. All right. So last regular award we have to do here, Defensive Player of the Year.
Let me tell you what. This might be a hot take depending on how good this team is this year.
Okay.
I got Jared Verse.
Yo, I love that pick.
I got Jared Verse. Reason being, he had such a great rookie year.
Right.
Full off season. I think he's gonna be even better this year. And the Rams, the Rams are in that win now mode. Yeah. They're gonna need him to step up big, and I think he has the talent to do so. And he might be in that, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Michael Parsons conversation.
Right.
So, I think there's a runway for him if he does come out and he has like a 13, 14, 15 sack year and the Rams are really, really good. I think there's a runway for him to be Defensive Player of the Year. I'm stepping out on a limb a little bit, but I can see it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that pick. We'll discuss further later, but I really like Jared. That's a sick ass pick. That team's gonna be awesome. The Rams are we have an award coming up called "That's My Guy" award. We'll discuss it more later. But if I had to pick a team, the Rams are my fucking squad this year.
That's my squad award.
Yeah, that's my squad award. But so this is the only homer pick that I have on this entire thing. So I'm taking Sauce Gardner to win Defensive Player of the Year. There's corners have been winning this more frequently. Stephon Gilmore won a few years ago. Pat Surtain won just last year. And a few of the reasons why I think it's going to happen. So his best year of his career so far was as a rookie. 75 total tackles. He played every snap. He had 20 pass breakups. He had 2 stuffs. He had 2 picks. He had an incredible rookie year. He's first team All-Pro. There hasn't been a huge fall off the next 2 years, but he's abandoned tackling big time. So those numbers are going to skyrocket this year because he's been focused on tackling. That's a big focus of the offseason for him. He's only had 1 pick within the last 2 years. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen again. He's going to have 2, 3, 4. And I love the idea of Aaron Glenn being there combined with bringing in a new defensive coordinator, both former corners. I think the stars are aligning for Sauce Gardner to have a Renaissance type year. I think he's the guaranteed best corner in the league this year, guaranteed. And I think it's not going to be by a pretty close margin, so I'm taking Sauce Gardner to take the award.
Okay, yeah.
Really, for me, all he needs to do this year is have a couple moments that really put him out there. Because the problem with guys like Darrelle Revis, Sauce Gardner, is that they're islands. The ball doesn't get thrown to them.
Yeah.
But if Sauce comes out of the year with 4 picks, one of them being a pick 6, and he gets a sack on 3rd down, little highlight plays throughout the year on top of his normal counting stats.
Yeah.
I think Sauce Gardner could be a shoe-in to win DPOI.
Yeah. I feel the same way about Quinyon Mitchell. I think he could be Defensive Player of the Year, but
yeah.
I think he doesn't get as much recognition because he is Sauce, Revis, he's an island guy.
Right.
He's Guantanamo Bay. Nobody throws his way. So he doesn't get the targets. So he's not getting the picks or the PBVs. Yeah. But we'll see. That's. I thought I was going out on a ledge. You're going out on a ledge with that one.
Yeah.
I'll let you ride with that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think there's edge rusher fatigue right now.
Yeah, that's true.
But
it's such a premier position that
it's such a premier position. But let me pull up the list. Defensive Player of the Year. Player of the Year, NFL. Find a list of them. If we look at the last few years, Myles Garrett's won it once, Bosa's won it once, TJ Watt's won it once. if we had to go with an edge rusher, who like outside of Jared Verse, like one of the top guys, who would it be? Like, is Max Crosby going to have the counting stats? Is TJ Watt due? I think TJ Watt should have won 3 of these probably. He's only got 1. Is Micah Parsons due? Is he going to play? Like, what's that going to look like?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a lot of questions with a lot of these edge rushers that, you know, we might not see what we think we're going to see this year.
Right. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see how it shakes out, but yeah, let's see. I think Jared Verse is that's a name right there.
Yeah. I think another fun pick too is Fred Warner.
Maybe. I think maybe the homerism, but I think Jalen Carter's probably a more fun pick than Fred Warner.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right. So that's our regular awards so far. Well, we have one more big one, and then we'll move on to all the fun awards. So, who's going to be your MVP?
So this is tough because it's really a myriad of like 5 guys every year that could win the award. I went with Pat. Reason being, I think Pat and the Chiefs are going to be on a mission after we put belt to ass to them and embarrass them live for the world to see in Super Bowl 59. And they've been pretty locked in preseason training camp. You haven't heard much out of them. I think this is a big year for Mahomes to pretty much respond to like the big adversity that has hit. Like, he's before we put belt to ass, he was anointed baby GOAT.
Yep.
He's the heir apparent to Tom Brady. Is he better than Tom Brady? And everybody said, all right, we need to stop, chill out on that talk after the Super Bowl. So given the circumstances, this could be a year for Pat to reintroduce himself and say, hey, like, I'm still him.
Right.
And I mean, at least I know how I feel like the Eagles and the Chiefs, like, leadership wise, have a very similar mentality, so I can totally understand the mindset going into the season.
Yeah.
So I can totally see like a redemption year for Mahomes individually. He just like balls out, carries them to another 13-win year. Will it happen? I don't know. That's why it's a prediction. But Josh Allen just won it. Lamar can always win it. I don't think Joe Burrow team-wise is going to have the success warranted for him to win the MVP.
You're probably right. Unless the numbers are just
that's true. Plus, like with Jalen Hurts, the media just doesn't give him the respect he deserves. So
here's my issue with Jalen. I don't think it's the respect anymore. I think they're coming around on that. He's just not going to get the counting stats. He's just not. There's an element of you need the counting stats, and if you're not going to break 4,000 yards passing, you're not going to win the MVP as a quarterback. That's my thing, and that's not a knock at him. That's just the way they win and the way he wins. So and he ain't worried about the MVP.
How he ain't. No, he's what he's worried about. He's not even worried about Super Bowl MVP. He's worried about Super Bowl champ. That's what he's worried about.
Right.
I'm cool with that. I don't want no regular season shit.
Right.
But yeah, no. If I had to pick, I think Pat is probably my pick. I think if I had to give a second place, probably Lamar. I mean, he's always in it. Always has the counting stats, and they're going to be really good this year.
Yeah, they're going to be fun. Yeah. So I'm in the same boat with you. I took Pat.
Okay.
So what's the last? What?
I was saying, why are you always taking my picks, bro?
Well, so I have a lot of evidence to back this one up. So what's the last time? There's been 2 times Pat's gotten absolutely embarrassed in the playoffs and just humiliated. Last year was one of them in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
What was the last time?
Against the Bucs.
2021 against the Bucs.
Yeah.
In 2022, he went out and threw for 5,250 yards, 41 touchdowns, 12 picks, 105 passer rating. His number 1 receiver was Juju Smith-Schuster, and his most touchdowns from a receiving target was Jerick McKinnon that year.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So
I think the wide receiver room's a little bit better than that team.
I would say it's a lot better. The other element of it is too. Now, this might be like a little secondary homerism, but like this has opportunity to be the best team that he's ever had. The defense is going to be a top 5 unit. It's going to be these defensive players that they drafted 4 years ago. They're starting to become veteran type players. I mean, you look at guys like Trent McDuffie, Nick Bolton, George Karlaftis, Chris Jones is still really, really good. And then like he threw for 5,200 yards and 40 touchdowns with Juju Smith-Schuster. 4 years removed from 1,000 yards, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Insane. What do you think Hollywood Brown and Rashee Rice are going to do? Oh, Xavier Worthy.
Right.
What do you think Xavier Worthy's going to do?
Right. And then you also look at their running back room, which I like a lot. Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, Elijah Mitchell. That's a fun trio. You have Carson Steele at fullback. They'd like to get involved in stuff. He's kind of in like the much lesser view, but kind of like a Taysom Hill type role a little bit for this team. It's just an extra thing that they can use for fun, right? This offensive line is probably going to be close to one of the best units that they've had. It's not going to be the best, but that it's going to be really, really good. Drafting Josh Simmons as your left tackle is great. And then Travis Kelce has lost weight. His camp and his trainers are saying this is the fastest he's been since he was a rookie. This, I think, more than Pat, Travis might have a redemption year.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's very, very likely that he has a top 3 tight end season. Like, I think 1,000 yards is on the board. I think 10 touchdowns is on the board. Because, like, say what you want about, like, relationships and, like, shit like that, like the Taylor Swift drama. He was very clearly distracted last year. Not that he wasn't putting in the work, he was just putting in the work in a lot of shit.
Yeah, he was distracted. And I think for the Chiefs, like us kicking the shit out of them in the Super Bowl was that wake up call. Like, you know, we thought this shit was sweet. Well, it ain't, and now we got to lock back in. So that's why I think it's likely that Mahomes has like maybe he's not going to throw for 5,000 passing yards, but you know, an esque year like that, Travis Kelce redemption year, like I think that's definitely on the table.
Yeah. Not only that, like let's not forget how great Rashee Rice was as a rookie.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because of a fall off last year. He just got hurt.
Before he got hurt, he was a dog.
Yeah.
So
900 yards, 7 touchdowns in 16 games as a rookie. That's pretty great.
Yeah. And he's suspended for the first 6 weeks of the season this year. So
yeah.
Once he comes back, it'll be like, I think it'll be similar to his rookie year where he just, balled out the second half of the year. I think that'll be kind of similar for Rashee Rice, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I really do think this is going to be like, it's going to be another one of those years where the years that no one picks the Chiefs is their years they're at their best. Like like they were still really good last year. Obviously, they were great last year. It's just all the talk from start of the year to the end of the year takes a toll. And then there's the Taylor stuff and the distractions and the taking your foot off the gas. Like they are going to be disgusting. They are going to be disgusting this year, dude.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna be locked in.
Yeah,
so it'll be fun to see.
No, but yeah, Pat to me is gonna set the league on fire again.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it has Pat written all over it. If it's somebody else, hey,
more power to him. Yeah, more power to him, I guess. Oh,
they must have thrown him for 6,000.
Oh man! All right. So let's get into some of the fun awards. I like a lot of our picks, dude. I think these are pretty good. Your camera went away, just so you know. There you go. You're back. So let's go. This is the W Wins Award. This is the award where we're going to pick a team that we think is going to double their win total off of last year. So who's your team?
My team is the New York Giants.
Okay.
They won 3 games last year. I think they got a lot better over the offseason. I think, they actually have a direction for their future. They drafted Jackson Dart. They signed a lot of guys in free agency. They bolstered the defense quite a bit. I wouldn't say it's great, but it is good. And for a team that won 3 games last year, I think with Russell Wilson starting, you have some weapons around him with Tyrone Tracy, Malik Neighbors, Wandale Robinson, Slayton. Right. It's not going to knock your socks off, but
no.
I think they are most certainly a 6 or 7 win team, and I think they'll be improved from this year. So I think without a doubt, it's the New York Giants.
Yeah, I think that's a very safe pick. It's a good pick. I went with one that's a little bit more of a challenge, but it ties into one of my breakout picks. I took the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
The Carolina Panthers won 5 games last year, so they got to win 10 this year to make that double. And I think it's on the board. No one's talking about them. Bryce Young, say what you want. He was a top 5 to 10 quarterback the last 6 weeks of the season last year. Balling, scorched earth. I like their wide receiver room a lot. You got Adam Thielen, Tech McMillan's in there, Xavier Legette. I like their running back room. Their defense needs a little bit of help, but I think their offense will be good enough to drag them to 10 wins. Typically, 10's not what it used to be. 10-7 is a lot more achievable than 10-6. So I think that's a real possibility. I like the Panthers a lot this season. I think they're a lot of fun. Plus a 4th place schedule.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
Yeah. All right.
I just think the bar for the Giants is so low, and they improved.
Oh yeah.
Where, they can totally achieve that.
Yeah, there's a few that are like damn near guaranteed. Chicago had 5 wins last year. That's close. Even a team like
the Patriots.
They won 4 games last year. Cleveland won 3. Say what you want, but their roster, they got a big roster, nice roster. There's a lot of teams you could pick. I just went with one that I think this team's going to shock some people this year.
Yeah.
So, all right, sick. Let's go the Breakout Offensive Player of the Year award. I don't think I need to explain it. Who's your breakout player on offense?
Well, judging by your double your wins pick, I think we might be looking in the same area here. My player is Bryce Young.
Me too.
Yeah. I think, Dave Canales, say what you want, but he's had that track record of working with quarterbacks. The first year's rocky. The second half of the year, they start to figure it out. And then once he gets into that second year, he hits the ground running. And I think Bryce Young is going to have that to where, what we saw at Alabama is maybe not 100%, but a vast majority of that. I think he's going to take a big step this year. And, the Panthers are going to be in that wild card conversation, whether they win 10 games, whether I think even if they win 8 games, I think it's a success. So I think I just think Bryce Young's going to have a much better year. And they gave him some guys on offense. Like you said, the defense still needs some work, but that's not Bryce Young's side of the ball. They'll need him to carry the load to be in that conversation. So, yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think Bryce Young's going to play really, really well this year. He's going to have a similar renaissance to what Baker Mayfield had his first year with Tampa. I think that's a pretty good comparison. I think he's got probably not as good of weapons as Mike Evans and Chris Godwin were at the time. But you never know what Tech McMillan's going to be. 2 years ago, Tech McMillan was like God in college football. So, you never know what you're going to get there. So, yeah, I like that pick a lot. Clearly, we both are looking in the same direction. So, Breakout Defensive Player of the Year award. I'm going with my pick, and I'm so glad you took Jared Verse as DPOI because that's who I took as breakout player for defense.
I like that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be awesome. I think that D-line is going to be fun. There's really not a name that's going to rise above him other than himself. Byron Young, Braden Fisk. It's going to be a very, very good unit, and that defensive line is going to dictate how good that defense is because they don't have much outside of that. So, I think that is a fucking awesome pick for DPOI.
Yeah. I'm glad you love that. The only reason why I didn't go with him as a breakout player is because I feel like his rookie year to me was the breakout,
Sure.
and now he's just going to take it up to another level.
So
mine is very niche,
all right.
and I thought of breakout player, like who's a guy that really didn't have a lot of eyes on him, who's going to have a lot more opportunity to succeed, and who has been turning heads in this small sample size that he's had.
Yeah.
Moro Ajomo.
Who?
Hear me out, bro. Hear me out.
Who?
Moro Ajomo.
Moro.
Google bro.
Ajomo.
Ajomo. Don't disrespect me, bro. This is my favorite pick of the whole show.
All right, I got it. Hang on. I'd never even heard of this name. He's on your team. Of course you pick him.
Yeah, so all right, listen, hear me out. So he's a 7th round draft pick in 2023, played out of Texas. He didn't get a lot of run his rookie year, but he had a small sample size throughout last year. And he was very productive in that small sample size. Similar thing happened with Milton Williams in 2022, 2023. He had a relatively small sample size behind Fletch and Hargrave, and he played very, very well. And then once he got his opportunity to be that really second guy, like the 2B to Jordan Davis's 2A in the past situations, he really took advantage. And Moro Ajomo stepped into that kind of small, situational guy and had a lot of success. And down the stretch into the postseason, he made some really big plays. Like he had a big sack in the fourth quarter against the Rams in the divisional round. He had a couple good run stuffs in the Super Bowl. Like he's flashed, and through camp, he's been turning heads. He is that 2B to Jordan Davis, and I think with a bigger sample size and more opportunity, I think Moro Ajomo is going to burst on the scene, similar to what Milt Williams did last year. I wouldn't say he is the number one guy, but by the time his rookie deal is up and he's up for a contract, like Milton Williams got a bag.
Right.
I think Moro Ajomo could get a bag.
Okay. So let me ask you this. If you think he could have a similar breakout to Milton Williams, is Milton Williams a known enough commodity off of last year to warrant being a breakout player?
What do you mean?
Milton Williams is great and all. How many guys are sitting there at the AP and being like, yeah, let me dig and find Milton Williams as my breakout player? That's my only issue.
Nobody in AP is digging there because they don't have this award. We do.
I know.
We can do the digging.
Right. So I don't hate it, but
you just aren't up on your Moro Ajomo ball knowledge.
I'm not. Listen, I hope 6 months from now. I hope 6 months from now, when Moro Ajomo, if I'm even pronouncing that right, is holding up the Super Bowl MVP trophy, I can sit here and say, brother, I'm sorry, I was not familiar with your game.
He doesn't need to hold up the Super Bowl MVP trophy because Milton Williams didn't. But all I'm saying is they're very similar player, and he had very small sample size last year. He flashed quite a bit, right? And through the off season and through camp so far, he's just been wreaking havoc,
right? To
where everybody's turning heads. This guy, outside of obviously Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, they're having a great camp, but this guy, who's going to step up for those free agents that we lost? Moro Ajomo is one. Sure. That will definitely step up. So yeah, I know it's a bit of a projection.
It's
But I
niche.
feel like it's niche, very niche, and projecting. But I feel like with Milton Williams and the track record we had, and also the coaching staff we have, it's very possible that
Yeah.
he can turn into that top free agent defensive tackle when it's all said and done. I hope that he's not getting a Milton Williams bag because I'd like to keep bro, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, at the start of last year, I don't think anybody was saying, yeah, the top free agent going into next offseason is Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. And then it just seemed to work out that way.
I'm putting the over-under at Moro Ajomo mentions on live broadcast this year at 6.5.
I'm taking the over.
Listen, so let me tell you this. The reason why I took Jared Verse is Jared Verse did have a great season. But he only had 4.5 sacks and 2 fumbles.
Yeah.
Like that, he did have a breakout, like really good rookie year, but like he could, it's not off the board that he triples. It's not there's a chance he triples to quadruples his sack total. Like that's why I think like we think about Jared Verse as a good player. We know he's a good player, but in terms of like, when they're putting up graphics for edge rushers when the Browns are playing, it's going to be Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Jared Verse next to each other for sack counts for this year. That's what I'm thinking based off of what he did for last year. So, but listen, hey, I mean, for Moro Ajomo, I guess there's only up. I mean, technically, you really can't be wrong. So, I mean,
yeah,
it's not a bad pick. All right. Let's get to a. Go ahead.
I figured that was an opportunity for me to put a little stretch in there. But honestly, like, it's justified. Like, if you
I get it.
If you were an Eagles fan and you've been following the team, like, it's totally justified to have him in breakout player conversations. It's just, not nationally versed people are seeing it that way.
I'm not sure 20 miles out of Philadelphia is seeing it that way. But I love it. I respect it very much. Oh, my God. All right, let's get into the Debbie Downer Awards, all right? Who is your fall-off offensive player of the year?
Now, this one's also kind of a hot take and a bit of a projection, but it's kind of justified when you look at the trends. I'm going to go with Jaden Daniels. Maybe not individually because he's very talented, but we've seen that sophomore slumps with quarterbacks hit, and they're not always as good. I think with Washington, I personally think, and I know I have some Washington hate, so the bias might be baked into this a little bit, but I honestly think they're a little overrated.
Yeah,
I think the running, they have a lack of a true run game. Brian Robinson's cool. Austin Eckler. I mean, it's not nothing to be scared about, in my opinion. It's mid. The passing game, they got Debo, but Terry's still holding out. So who knows what happens there? And they're an older team. I think they very much overachieved for what their expectations were last year, and now the bar is set super high. And I just don't know if they're going to meet those expectations. I think, I think they're now you have a full year of tape out on Jaden Daniels, how he plays, what he likes, how you can stop him. And I think that's going to be something that he's going to have to be working through all year. Not to say that I think, he's just going to be absolute dog shit. But in addition to him, I think the Commanders as a whole are going to take a little step back. Yeah. I wouldn't say like bona fide Super Bowl contender. They're definitely a playoff team, but I think I could see them being a first or second round out.
Yeah. I would go as far to say as this team has presently constructed peaked already. They will probably have to go into a rebuild situation when Jaden Daniels is up for a contract. That's kind of the barrel they're staring down. They don't have to get like that. I mean, if they hit on 50% of their draft for the next 3 years, I mean, they might be at a better spot, and you can always re-sign guys because a lot of these guys are going to leave. But there, yeah, I actually don't hate that pick a lot. I think there is some fall off, like imminent fall off for Jaden, because you're right. Like the bar, the overachieving, similar to CJ Stroud in the first year of his year going into year 2.
Yeah.
And I think that roster for Houston was better than what this Washington one is.
Yeah. I agree.
My fall off player, I took Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill is going to be the second leading receiver on that team. I think Jalen Waddle is going to take over as the number 1. Tua, we don't know what he's going to be. But I think Tyreek Hill's past the security blanket, like super duper star portion of his career. Now, if he goes back to Kansas City, like a lot of people have been thinking about for the last year or two, then he will explode. But I don't think there's going to be enough output at the quarterback position for there to be 2 top receivers on that team. And I think Jalen Waddle is just hot take. I think Jalen Waddle is a more well-rounded receiver than Tyreek Hill.
I don't know if that's a hot take. I can see that. I kind of agree there. But
yeah. Now, in terms of reliability and things like that, we haven't necessarily seen it with Waddle as a certified 1 yet. But I think there's more ability to him than Tyreek to be a safety net for a Tua or like route tree concept kind of thing. Like he doesn't have to run the 9 route to be, he doesn't need 100% open space to be successful. He doesn't need a 9 route to be successful. Not to say Tyreek Hill's not great. It's just I think we're getting to the point now where he's going to have a similar drop off to what Devontae Adams had. He's about at that age. Plus, he's not as locked into football as he's been in years past. You know what I mean? You see a lot of stuff come up about Tyreek Hill. I mean, he's got more kids than there are games in an NFL season at this point. Like, I don't know why we're real. I don't think his game's not going to age well. He's small. He's undersized.
Yeah.
And I
relies
think
on his pure speed.
Yeah.
And that just goes away as age goes on. And I think I think he's probably out of the league within the next 2 or 3 years.
Out of the leagues, it depends. If he wants to play,
I think it's a situation where he retires. I don't think it's a situation where he just can't go.
Okay.
I think he's trending down that way where he, just isn't athletically gifted as he was when he was younger, which father time, can't fault that. But I think it's just one of those scenarios where he kind of has 1 foot out the door.
Yeah.
And, next season, the season after, he might just be like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, he's talked about like at the end of his current contract and things like that.
Yeah, which is up after, I think, this year.
You're right. Now, in terms of being like a receiver, I don't even think that number's crazy. I think he could have a similar type of situation that Cordero Patterson had. I think he could become the best returner in football if he only focused on that for the last 6 years of his career. I think that would be fucking awesome. But hey, guys don't usually think that way. I think those are some pretty good picks. Fall off defensive player of the year.
So I have crazy pull. I have Hassan Reddick.
I
think
he's already fallen off, nah?
Yeah, but I think this is where he's like permanently into obscurity. I think last year was such a mucky year. We couldn't really get a gauge on he fell off because he came back like halfway through the year and really didn't do much. But I think mindset wise, he just he's a sack getter. And it pains me to say because 3 years ago he was a top 5 edge rusher in the league.
Yeah.
But I think the mindset is probably the root of it, just because he's more individually focused than team focused, which is why it really didn't work out with us. But I think it's another year under his belt. I think he's 33 now.
I think so, yeah.
32 or 33, which is getting up there, and I just don't know if that productivity is there.
Yeah.
He does have some opportunity to get some run with the Bucks, because I mean they really don't have much edge help.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's just gonna fade into obscurity this year. I feel like he might have like 4 or 5 sacks
Yeah.
and just be mid.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we didn't really have a good gauge of that just because of the whole contract situation last year. But I just think like now he's just kind of fade and be that like Jadeveon Clowney that's kind of passing around from team to team, just getting a check.
Yep. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay.
Plus, this was hard for me to like think of an actual good fall off player.
Right. So I took one that might be a little bit of a shock, but I've got some thoughts behind it. I took Danielle Hunter. Edge out of Houston. This will now be his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He's old.
So, yeah, he's an old 30. He turns 31 in October. This will be his 10th season. And I think we're going to be pretty far removed from the 16.5 sacks he had in 2023 with the Vikings. He had a good year last year. 12 sacks compared. He had, let me see, TFLs or like anything like that stuffs. Yeah, all across the board, he's kind of come down a little bit from his year with Minnesota. Plus, he's on a major bag. Will Anderson's also going to be exploding onto the scene as time goes. I don't foresee him staying at top tier level. Like really, the only edge rushers that stay great into their mid to late 30s are the greats. Like Reggie White, Von Miller, guys like that. I would expect Myles Garrett to be getting 15 sacks at 35, you know what I mean? But like a guy like Danielle Hunter, who's not quite that level of player, I don't see it. I mean, 10 sacks might be on the board, but in terms of like contribution to the roster, I think Danielle Hunter probably will be a similar fall-off player. Plus, he's not going to have the eyes on him because Will Anderson's a pretty hot pick for DPOY this year, too. So, yeah, I took Danielle Hunter as my defensive fall-off player.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I still think he's productive, even though, he is an old 30.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of tread on the NFL tires there, but we'll see. I think he still has a role, and I still think he'll be productive.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, Hassan Reddick's that's a gimme. Yeah. All right.
Who's the most obvious fall off?
Yeah. Right. So we have 2 more picks here. This one is record breaker of the year. This is any player or team breaking any type of NFL record that there is. I went with a relatively popular record. It's not like one of the top ones, but I think it's doable this year, especially considering the situation. But what is your pick for a record breaker of the year?
So this one was probably the hardest one to come up with just because there's so many.
Yeah.
But I went with, do you want me to give my record?
The record and the player.
Yep. All right. So the record I went with was most completions in a season, which is 490 by Tom Brady in 2022.
Wow. Okay.
I think Joe Burrow has a chance to break that. Last year, he had 460 total completions. I think, they let Zach Moss go. I think, I still think they have a lack of a consistent run game. Chase Brown was nice last year, but again, like, if he's your number one, I feel like you got problems. So It's going to be on Joe Burrow's shoulders. And once again, with all the comments that he's had over the offseason about getting help, this, that, and third, like, he's got to shoulder the load of the expectations, and they're going to need him to throw for 5,000 yards to be in that playoff conversation, similar to what he did last year. But I think, more than ever, he's got to pretty much duplicate or exceed what he did last year.
Yeah.
And, yards, it's tough. Like, so I was looking at, like, averages, like, what average per game record could there be? It's always tough to pick those because the 17th game factors into it. But I think completion-wise, he's just throwing the ball all over the map. And he was pretty efficient last year, 70% completion percentage.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the formula for the Bengals. I think probably the volume or maybe the efficiency could go up even a couple more percentages. So we'll see. But I think, him, maybe Dak Prescott
Okay.
could potentially break those records. It depends on health as well. But I'd say at his stage of like talent,
Yeah.
I'd say Joe Burrow probably to break that. And I put 495 just as a number. I don't know
Sure.
exactly what it'd be, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's my record.
Okay. So I went kind of similar. I went to the other end of the stick. I took single season receptions. And I think Jetta has a real good chance to beat that. So there is no better safety blanket in the NFL for a young quarterback than the greatest receiver of the last 10 years. That's probably pretty helpful, especially when you really don't have much at running back as well. Aaron Jones is getting older. But not only on top of that, Aaron Jones is getting a little older, so I think they'll move away from the run game. But you also factor in the fact that they do have a really good offensive line. So J.J. McCarthy's going to have time. And he's going to look to his number one a lot. And to give you an idea, I have the list pulled up here for the record. So the record is 149 by Michael Thomas in 2019, following 2021 Cooper Kupp. So the top 10 or even 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the last 11 have happened within the last 7 years. So receivers are getting targeted more often. Justin Jefferson actually is number 8 on this list. He's at 128. He'd have to do 150 to break it. I think he's got a chance to do 153, especially because the year he did 128 was his biggest year. That was actually the highest percentage his lowest percentage at catch rate he's ever had.
Yeah.
So if he gets the same amount of target output with his career average, I did the math on it just because I was very passionate about this one. If he got the middle amount of targets with the most amount of targets with the minimum middle ground amount of catch rate, he would break the record with about 151.
Yeah.
So you factor in a young quarterback that they're going to be probably receiving heavy with the greatest wide receiver in the league. Young guy, like TJ Hawkinson might take some away, but I don't think Hawk has quite been the player since moving to the Vikings. And the other aspect of it too is there's so much turmoil outside of Justin Jefferson in that receiver room right now, that it's going to be him or nothing. That's my pick. I took Jetta to break single season receptions, probably 153 is my guess.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that.
Yeah.
That
right.
could totally happen. He could be offensive player of the year off of that. So
yeah, right. Last award, my favorite award we've ever come up with. This is the That's My Guy award. If you know anything about me, you know I cling myself to one or two players in the league. Last year was Kyron Williams. Okay.
Who is it this year?
This year? Nah, you go ahead. You go first. Because this is my Super Bowl. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is. You're going to love this pick, and it's so ironic, so poetic. My guy is Justin Fields.
You piece of shit.
Here's my reason. Not only because if you've been watching this show for the last few years, you know Kyle's hate relationship with Justin Fields being an adequate NFL quarterback. But now that he is the starting quarterback of the New York Football Jets, it's just poetic that Kyle has to root for his success. But I honestly do think this is probably the best situation for him to emerge as a legit starting quarterback. He's always had the potential. I think Chicago is really just a tough place for quarterbacks to succeed. And then in Pittsburgh last year, say what you want, I personally felt like he got the shit end of the stick. He stepped in for Russell Wilson. He played 6 games, and I felt like passing wise, he was improving week after week. getting more comfortable and showing his
Yeah.
progression as a passer, and then they were just like, yeah, no, Russell Wilson's back. So I think he kind of got shit there, but he's had a pretty good camp so far. And he is the sole starter, so there's nobody threatening. I mean, Tyrod Taylor, but he just got hurt,
Right.
so he really has nobody threatening for that job. And I think with Aaron Glenn and that coaching staff, I think they're going to. He not that he's going to break out, but I think he's going to. If for Justin Fields standards, I think he's going to break out, and the Jets will be a really fun team.
Yep.
And I've always felt like with Justin Fields, he's such an elite runner. If he just was a good enough passer, like if his passing game was like, doesn't have to be great.
Yeah.
If it was just good, he could be potentially a top 10, top 15 quarterback in the league.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, there's no reason like. I mean, like I said, like in years past, I've always thought, like, I mean, when you go from having the worst quarterback season of all time, it's kind of difficult to get yourself into top 15 type discussions. But you're absolutely right. The legs are enough to where if he's average as a quarterback, he'll be in that conversation. I actually
Jets, that's all you really need as a Jets fan.
Yeah. I just want consistency. Here's my biggest fear, though. All right. He's good enough to get us into the playoffs, and then we have to resign him instead of drafting someone in the top 10.
That's the tough part. But maybe you'll get a good deal. Who knows?
I don't care about the good deal. I care about winning games in the future.
I know. I'm just saying, like, he might not command like a $50 million bag.
We already gave him the good deal. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do it again. Well, we'll see. I mean, the odds of him ever being like that guy are pretty low. But
I'm not saying he'll ever be like Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson, but
But if I can get some fun seasons out of him, we'll see.
That's my guy.
Yeah, that's my guy award. This is a player that I kind of fell in love watching last year a little bit. Never really talked about him much, but he was on my fantasy roster on both my leagues. He's won me a couple weeks, getting me through a couple rounds in the playoffs. My guy is Tyrone Tracy Jr.
Okay.
Running back for the Giants. He was fun as hell to watch last year behind an offensive line that was kind of because of injuries. And then he had no help at quarterback. Now that there's Russell Wilson back there, who's a vet, their offensive line has gotten healthy. The team's going to be a lot better. I think Tyrone Tracy could be a breakout running back this season. 1,200 yard possibilities, I think, is very well likely. I also took him in my fantasy draft this year in like the 7th round. So
you're banking on it. I know you passed on Joe Mixon for Tyrone Tracy.
I did. So that's my guy. I'm super hyped to watch him play. And the Giants, you're right. The Giants are going to be a fun team. As long as there's no one on that team that's going to take snaps away from him. Cam Scatabo ass is going to do it. Devin Singletary ass isn't going to do it. He's going to be the certified back on that team. And there's something about like young rosters when they've got like a young receiver, young running back. You know what I'm saying? There's something fun about that, like Malik Neighbors, and I'm very excited to watch this Giants offense. So yeah, that's my guy is Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah, I like it. He is a fun player.
Yeah,
he's a fun player. I like him. I would not have passed on Joe Mixon personally if it was me, but hey, you are the upside guy.
I hit upside, dude. I love upside. What can I say?
He definitely has a lot of upside in that offense.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe not having that premier player in Saquon to build around and building around a quarterback, doing it the right way, bodes well for a guy like Tyrone Tracy in that mix. So, who knows? Yeah.
So, that's our predictions for the season. I have them up on the screen here, so you can take a look. Moro Ajomo being on this list is a bit of a tough one here. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a little hard to stomach if you're asking me, but
hey, it ain't hard to stomach for the folks in the northeastern Pennsylvania region because we know ball.
I respect that, dude. I respect that. All right. You have any closing statements?
Don't shit on me for my Moro Ajomo ball knowledge. Because when he comes out and plays like Milton Williams or even better,
Yeah.
we'll go back to this and say, hey, we were onto something.
We
But-
were on to something.
No, I think our lists are pretty good. I know that was definitely probably a stretch.
Yeah.
Nash, like when you're thinking about overall, I just thought that was a really cool niche pick.
Oh yeah.
But no, we didn't get too radical on our picks. I feel like we had quite a bit of overlap, and even where we were differing, I think it wasn't like ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited, dude. This season is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Yeah, dude. All right. With that, this has been the Day One podcast. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Whether you're on a boat, bus, or plane, you can get the Day One podcast content anywhere in the globe. Anthony's down there in Cancun with Jalen Hurts' ass early before they lose any games this season. They're down there getting prepped.
Wow.
They're down there sweeping the floors, getting the condos ready for them to go out in round one.
Hey, I'm in my Super Bowl suite, bro.
Oh, man.
I seen Justin Fields in the game out here cleaning my room.
Yo. Oh, man. But yeah, I'm going to be on a cruise in the next 2 weeks. And guess what? I'll be able to watch the Day One podcast, and I'm going to be in the middle of the ocean. So go down to your local Sprint Mobile, get the 4 for $100 deal, get your whole family some brand new shitty-ass Samsungs, and make sure you take a look and watch the content. We will be back next week with our season predictions. We're going to predict every single game of the regular season, playoffs, Super Bowl, all of it. So make sure you stay tuned. But with that, I'm Kyle. That's Anthony. We'll see y'all later.
Peace.